Hello everybody, and welcome to S.P.A.Z, which is short for Space, Pirates, and Zombies. Apparently bounty hunters. My name is Bullet Up the Ass, which many of you know. I don't know really much of anything about this game other than your spaceship trying to gather some minerals. I can't remember what they're called. I'd like to say P.A.Z, but I don't think they're P.A.Z. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna start a game, check it out. Again, it's one of those games I've owned for a long time, haven't had anything to do with. Difficulty casual, please. Sure, we're due about 225. That is default. There we go. Start down here, I believe it is. Yeah. I did watch a little bit of Total Biscuit, playing this, but I kind of stopped halfway through, just because, well, I didn't feel like watching the rest of it, and I didn't want to spoil too much if I was going to actually play it. Speaking of which, he narrates this, I believe.
Space is a vast and desolate frontier, covering a seemingly infinite distance. Even the speed of light is dwarfed by the unimaginable scale of our galaxy. It took nearly 250 years to bridge the void between Earth and its closest neighboring star. Mankind had mastered the folding of space-time, but relied on the use of warp gates. Massive drone ships journeyed through deep space for centuries, deploying pairs of warp gates which allowed instantaneous travel between connections. Warp gate travel had not become commonplace until the discovery of a stable element, number 126. This element contained bizarre, transmutable properties, allowing it to be reconfigured into different forms of matter. This made it the most valuable and sought-after commodity in the universe. Mankind quickly became completely dependent on element 126, which the first miners named Res.
Res, not P.A.Z.
Due to the increasing demand for Res, the Warpgate network became privatized. Anyone with ample funding was able to deploy new and unregistered warp gates. Like a new gold rush, convoys of miners traversed the expanding warp network looking for Res deposits. This drove them closer and closer to the galactic core, where Res deposits became richer and richer. A growing number of isolated colonies became unmanageable. As the unique ecologies of each discovered planet intermixed through trade, potential pandemics became a concern. The United Terran Alliance was formed to control interplanetary contamination. They moved to heavily restrict gate access. Military blockades began to screen all trade ships traveling between gates, attacking any unregistered ships that attempted to use them. For a time, the UTA was able to maintain control, but they soon crumbled under the weight of rapid expansionism and bureaucracy. Unable to manage their fleets and borders, the military hierarchy collapsed. Without central leadership, the UTA fleets dissolved into a series of isolated subcells that rarely communicated or traveled beyond local space. Each military subcell now struggles to control their systems by whatever laws they see fit to implement. Despite the enforced isolation, rogues continue the gold rush while refugees amass hidden away from the UTA's eye. They survive within the vast junk fields of an abandoned Earth. There they build a massive flagship named the Clockwork. With it they intend to travel to the galactic core in search of a legendary motherlode of Res.
Okay folks, it's that time again. This will be our 7th engine test this week. I don't want to go to bed with radiation burns again tonight, alright? Let's get those puppies fired up good and proper this time. Yes, well you see, we're lucky the toilet's even flush in this brick. I've managed to bootstrap the induction coil to the main core to boost output, but I don't think but I don't expect it to maintain a viable reaction. Nuclear particle physics and duct tape do not mingle well, yes? No, they don't. Carl, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Just turn the bloody thing on. Damn, the magnetic stabilizer's blue. We have major breaches on decks 6 through 10. Our escort ships are gone, and we're venting atmosphere. We have crew casualties. Oh, crewmen can always be replaced. The ship damage, on the other hand. Well, I told you this piece of junk wouldn't hold back on overload. Did you honestly expect any different? Look at what have to work with here. Sorry, I'm like all over the place reading it just because I'm trying to read ahead too quickly and I'm tired, as usual. But anyway, the blown stabilizer system will have to be replaced before we can even think of trying this again. It's a common part. I'm sure there is another one in the junk field somewhere. We still have a working hangar. Yeah, that is hangar, okay. So let's fire up the fabricator systems and build a ship to retrieve it. Small mining laser, small tractor beam, small tractor beam. Yeah, that's all I have right now, I believe. So, guess what I have to do.
Ship constructed.
How to fly your ship. WASD. X is stabilizers. Mouse is the orientation, mouse wheel is the zoom level. Okay. Easy enough.
Maybe you should read this.
What am I doing again? Nearly everything of importance is marked with the radar, allowing you to see when it's off screen. Radar indicators will be pinned on the edge of the screen, showing you the direction and orientation of the ships. If you get confused as to what you should be doing, you can see your primary objective in the ship's log, F.1. Just about every menu you see will have a help indicator. Like the help indicators to find out useful information on what you're looking at. Okay. Pew. Well, that should fix the stabilizer, but the overload... itchy eye. Well, that should fix the stabilizer, but the overload compromised the structural integrity of the ship more than I initially thought. We can't jump with a breach like this. I've written up an extensive list of the repairs that will have to be satisfied before I'll conduct another test. Meanwhile, I'll be in my quarters. Let me know when you're done cleaning up your failure. Oh, you've got to be kidding. I really do hate that, man. We're going to need to replace more than just one ship if we expect to cork that hole anytime soon. That's unfortunately easier said than done. The hull damage vented most of our res supply. We even lost all the damn liquor. We need to restock before we can build more ships. There's a mining station in the system. Elsa, you've worked the miners before. See if you can convince them to let us harvest in their territory. Jupiter. I've contacted the mining base. They're all drunk on industrial paint stripper. It's so it wasn't too hard to convince them to let us harvest some res. We'll have to be very careful around here. The mining base is automated and won't think twice about slicing us in half with that mining beam. Let's siphon what we need to move on. Your prospecting request has been granted. Please refrain from tampering with the automated mining systems. If you happen to be exposed to the vacuum of space, please proceed to the nearest eye wash station and rinse thoroughly. Thank you and have a pleasant day. This should be interesting. That asteroid they are drilling into is even more dense than you, Elsa. There is no way we can crack it. Only station class core mining beam can even come close. We'll have to grab the spill off the table scraps. I feel like such a transplant.
This is a public service announcement.
Res processing. The mothership was too slow to scout for res on its own, so it deploys short-range warp beacon that can transfer ships and res back and forth instantly. You can only find res by destroying asteroids with weapons. Fire Res-1. Fly over res to load it into the cargo hold. Return to the beacon to automatically transfer the res back to the mothership for processing. You can see your processed res count in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Keep an eye on how much cargo space your ships have. The more the cargo bay, the slower the ship will go. Be aware that smaller ships cannot carry large deposits of res. If you do not have a large enough ship, you can always break res apart with weapons fire. Good enough. Collect res near the station. I need 20 res. What does that say? You can usually find a good supply of res near any mining base, but you can bring it back to the beacon for processing. Green resource 1, blue 5, yellow 25. Cargo full. Oh.
Copy that.